coaster, and I like roller coasters. My husband doesn't. He don't like roller coasters. He don't like roller coasters. Ooh, I love them. I be the one on the roller coaster like this, like, yeah! I'll be screaming and they be looking at me like I'm nuts. I tell you what, when we was just out of town for my husband's birthday, we got on the roller coaster and they were individual roller coasters. They were almost like go cars on a roller coaster, on a roller coaster track. And they told us to push the thing down to go faster, and you could pull it up just a little bit to slow down. I didn't pull it up a little bit because the man gonna tell me, he said, and you're on this little tiny goat car on a roller coaster track, individual ones, right, by yourself. The man, when I got up to the top, he gonna tell me, now push it all the way down. He said, and don't pull it up or it'll do something funny on the track, right? And I'm thinking, oh my gosh. But I tell you what, that thing had to be going 90 miles an hour. I was screaming, but I was having so much fun. I pushed that thing down and I was going so fast. It was unbelievable. Yes, it was. I was kind of scared, but I was having fun too. And they said they could just hear me screaming. When I got off of there, my eyes was watering. I was kind of crying, but I was happy. I don't know what that was all about. Let's see, what did Saj say? They said that's unbelievable. Let's see. I thought they carry the baby in the pouch. You thought they carried a baby in the pouch. Oh, you talking about, what? Drew Moss says, I thought they carry the baby in the pouch. What the heck is he talking about? I don't know what they're talking about. Oh, you never been on a roller coaster before. The roller coaster, oh man. I love roller coasters. I'll read her message. Says she walked away like, I did my job with holding you in me all these months. Now I'm out. Oh my goodness, what is that? Did I get your question? I didn't get your question, Alan. Oh, you got a love-hate relationship with roller coasters? Oh my goodness. It felt like it was 90 miles an hour, and that's how fast it was. I was like, what? And it's like I said, I'm on this tiny thing, looked like a go-kart, and I was moving fast. And when you go, when you turn the corner like this, your head is out here. Like your body's here and your head's out here. So when you're turning, your head is out here. I'm like, I just felt like that thing was going to break. But it was so much fun. Go bungee jumping. Nate, I went bungee jumping. But it was the kind where they put you in the ball and they take you like a rubber band. You know how you pull a rubber band back and then you let that rubber band go and you go. I went up in the air and then I came back down and I was bouncing like this. So I've done something similar. So I wasn't actually bungee jumping where they hold you by the legs, but I was in a ball. And they just like I said, it was like they had me on a rubber band. Whew, they released me and I was up in the air. It was fun. And my husband said, yep, and the whole time y'all was up there, I was praying for y'all. He did. He said, while y'all was up there, I was praying for y'all, buddy. No, listen at this. You heard me? We started putting the kids on the roller coaster early when they was younger. And maybe, when I say earlier, I'm saying maybe 10, 11, 12, whatever. We get on this ride and one of the kids say this, oh, mommy, daddy, I gotta poop. And I thought, you have to be kidding me. In the middle of the ride, mommy, daddy, I gotta poop. And they're doing like this. I'm like, oh no, what do we do? What do we do? And the whole time the kid is telling us that, and we're like, what? I'm like, what? Oh, Lord. Yes, that happened. So as soon as the ride was over, my husband picked him up like this, and he just ran. He just ran with him. You know how you pick a baby up? He just ran with him to the nearest bathroom. They made it. There was no accident, but I was just like, oh my goodness, that's what that thing did to their stomach. Nate says, don't be fooled. Gina's nice demeanor. She's the type, if you try her, she would knock you out. Oh. Yes, Saj, that's really interesting, right? The seahorses, the male carries the baby, and that is very interesting, right? It is hilarious, Stephanie, right? Yes, Drew, we was like, what? We in the middle of the air. What, Mommy, Daddy? I gotta poop. Holding their stomach like this. I'm like, oh no, this is not gonna be good. I had so much fun, guys. Have you ever been to a mega round? I don't even know what that is. A merry-go-round. Oh, yes, when I was little. Okay, so Saj says, I don't like rides that make my stomach feel weird. Oh, okay. All the rides that I get on make your stomach drop. All the rides that I get on make your stomach drop to the floor. Did I tell y'all what? Did I tell y'all what happened to my husband when we went to get on some rides before? How he asked them to stop the ride. Have I told y'all the whole story? I thought I've told y'all the story. Somebody tell me you've heard it or you haven't heard it. If you've heard it, I ain't even gonna mention it. Thank you, Jackie. You have the best stories. Thank you. Can you freeze the Rice Krispie treats? Alan, yes, you can. Absolutely, you can. What a great question. You haven't heard it? Nope, haven't heard it. Okay, so I'm going to tell you. Well, it's a couple. It's a couple different stories. Okay, so I already told y'all he don't like rides. I love the rides. Like, I totally dig out on the rides. I love them. I'm like this, yay, right? And I'm asking him like, oh, baby, please get on with me, right, this time. Get on with me this time. And he'll be like, well, okay, you know. So the Tower Power, whatever it's called. So it's this big circle, right? It ain't this big, it's huge, right? And you can just imagine there's a whole lot of people sitting all around it, okay? Everybody's sitting all around this circle. And everybody's legs is just a dangling. Their feet and their legs is just a dangling, right? Okay? So we're on this huge circle. Like I'm sitting here, you're sitting here, he's sitting there, and everybody else is around us, right? Everybody's sitting down. Your legs is dangling, right? What they do is they take you up real slow. And you're just sitting there, your legs is dangling, all that good stuff. Okay, but I just want to tell you how the ride starts out. So the first year, they strapped us in, strapped all these people in, because a whole lot of people can get on. Strapped all these people and strapped me and my husband in, because, you know, they got to check every person's thing to make sure you strapped in, because you're going up real high. And he going to say, this is the first year, he going to say, can you get me off real quick? Right? Can you get me off? And they say, yeah, right? And I think it really made them mad. Because once they open somebody's seat, everybody's seat gets unconnected, right? So they let him out, and I went up and did the ride. The next year, I begged him to get on. He's like, okay. He tried it the next year. He tried the same thing. And he say, ma'am, and it was like a teenage girl running the ride, right? He said, ma'am. Okay, hold on. He got everybody snapped in. He asked her, he said, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Can you please let me off? Can you let me off? And she said, yeah, when it's over. Oh, boom, she hit the button. And we said, so. We shot up in the air. I looked over at him and he was like, that's what I looked over at him. He was doing that. So we get up to the top. They take you up to the top. Boom, we get up there. And we just sitting there. You're just sitting up there for a while, right? Everybody's dangling their feet. It's me and him right beside each other. I got my arm on him. I'm supposed to be holding on to my thing. I got my arm on him, making sure he okay. Everybody just dangling their feet, and you're looking down, and it's like miles down. It looks like it's like 1,000 miles down. All of a sudden, they go. And guess what? They drop you, and you go down like this. So you go down so fast, you couldn't even see my hand, right? You go, boom! And right before you hit the bottom where your feet could hit, it's so scary. My husband was like, he tried it the next year. They would not. She said, yeah, you can get off when it's over. Boom! She hit that button. He was so mad. Oh, he was mad. He was mad. And then another year, so this one's real funny. So there was this lady walking in front of us. She has a little kid with her. Let's just give the kid a name. Let's just say she has little Billy with her. And the little kid looks like he might be 9 or maybe 10, but he's a little teeny tiny thing. The lady can hear our conversation because we're walking behind them. And we must have been talking about a nice smooth ride that we could get him on that he would enjoy. She turned around and she say this. She say, you looking for a nice smooth one? You want a smooth ride? And me and my husband's like, yeah. She's like, oh, come with us. She's like, look, I got little Billy with me. She's like, he's only 9. She's like, he loves this ride, right? And me and my husband are all giddy. We like, okay, let's go. And she's like, come on. We follow her. We follow this lady and little Billy. We follow them and we get in line. When we get up to the front, there's like a gate, and it was time for me and him to get on. And we sat on together, and we got in the front of the roller coaster, like the tip-top front. They was in the tip-top front. We was in the second row. Listen, when you get strapped in, they strap you in, make sure you're good and everything. All of a sudden, when your seat goes back just a little bit like this. Right, so you're sitting like this. Right before you get started, your seat goes back a little bit. And then you take off like this. So, right? Come to find out, she put us on the fastest roller coaster, underground, and it was in the dark, and all you could see was flashes of lightning. As soon as our seats went back right before it started, guess what she did? She did this. She looked back and she said, she was like, gotcha. She looked back and said, gotcha. My husband said, I wanted to Donkey Kong that lady in the top of her head. He said, I was so mad. And as soon as she said, gotcha, like that, she was like, gotcha. As soon as she said that, it took off like, zoom. And my husband said he just closed his eyes. Oh, my gosh. He said it was the worst thing. Y'all know Donkey Kong, how Donkey Kong hits the thing? How you gonna hit Donkey Kong with the mallet in the head or something? He said, I wanted Donkey Kong her right in the back of her head. He said, I was so mad. He said, why did I listen to her? She gonna do like this, gotcha. And all I could see was his eyes do this, and we took off. I loved it though. Yes, she did. Stephanie said, oh, no, she didn't. Yes, she did. Samuel said, oh, heck no. Yes, it was unbelievable. And the funny thing about that, and she was listening to us talking. We were just casually walking behind them. She's like, oh, you want something nice and smooth? Little Billy, he gets on this all the time, loves it. She's like, this nice and smooth, you gonna love it. That's how she was talking, right? We like, okay. As Drew said, you Donkey Kong, you hear me? He was so mad. She gonna do like this right before it started. Gotcha. Stephanie said, Gina, you a daredevil. Gina, I would have thrown them hands. You would have thrown them hands. About time that lady got off the ride, she wouldn't had a broken body. She would have been in the hospital that day, says Samuel. He talking about that lady that said, gotcha. My husband couldn't believe, and guess what he said to me? Hold on, let me fix this. Hold on, guys. Guess what my husband said? He said, how could somebody be so evil? What made that lady do that? Oh, you want something nice and smooth? That's how she was talking. You want something nice and smooth? She's like, oh, look at Billy. He loves it. It's nice and smooth, right? We like, okay, let's go. It's nice. You're going to love it. Boy, she went like this. Gotcha. My husband looked at me like this. I'm so mad. He was. She was mean for that. She was pure evil, right? She had to be. This somebody don't even know us. She just heard us talking.